Hi, I'm Steve Stratton and a longtime member at Nicholasville United Methodist Church. I love being a part of this church family. Would you listen to Luke chapter 14, verses 25 through 33? A large crowd was following Jesus. He turned around and said to them, "If you want to be my disciple, you must, by comparison, hate everyone else. Your father and mother, spouse and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even your own life. Otherwise, you cannot be my disciple. And if you do not carry your own cross and follow me, you cannot be my disciple. But don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a tower without first calculating the cost to see if there is enough money to finish it? Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money, and then everyone would laugh at you. They'd say, 'There is that person who started that building and couldn't afford to finish it.' Or what king would go to war against another king without first sitting down with his counselors to discuss whether his army of 10,000 could defeat the 20,000 soldiers marching against him? And if he can't, he will send a delegation to discuss terms of peace while the enemy is still far away. So you cannot become my disciple without giving up everything you own." Harsh words, difficult expectations from Jesus here. What's going on? I think Jesus is using a pretty common rabbinic teaching method that today we call hyperbole. Hyperbole is an exaggerated statement that's intended to create a strong emotional response. It's a figure of speech, but it's not intended to be taken literally. It's kind of like a person who'd say, "I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse." I know a lot of you in the congregation, and I know that horse is never on your menu, even though you may say it is. Or another person said just the other day, "My feet are killing me." I think he meant that his feet were hurting, but not that his feet were out to get him. I was on my way back from India, and just before we landed, the passenger sitting next to me said, "This plane ride has taken forever." Well, we know what he meant, but it was 10 hours in the air, but it didn't take forever. Or a young parent who said, "I've told you this 20,000 times," but that parent wasn't talking with a child. They were talking, that person was talking to their spouse. All of these are exaggerations to make a point. Jesus is not asking any of us to literally hate anyone. That goes against all the scriptural principles that we know. So what is he telling his disciples or the people who want to be his disciples? He's alerting them to God's message that started in the garden at the very beginning of time. We are all made for relationship with God, first and foremost. And disciples make Jesus and his teaching the priority, that which comes before everything else. Jesus is reminding all who are listening at that time and now that we're created to be how we're created to be. And the way we're created to be is still the way that life works. There's an order to it. And nothing works right if that relationship with God is not first place. Or maybe a better way to say it is relationship with God is the foundation upon which all other relationships stand, whether those are relationship with people or relationship with things. Nothing works long term unless it's built on the right foundation. It's kind of like Jesus' metaphor in Matthew 7, where he says, "Build on the rock as opposed to the sand." Jesus is saying, if you want to be my disciple, if you want to be in right relationship with me, if you want a life that's going to work and not fall apart, you have to build on the rock. We build on the rock by making him first and centering on him. Or as Jesus said in Matthew 6, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things will be added to you." Or Luke 12 reports Jesus saying, "Seek the kingdom of God above all else, and he will give you everything that you really need." Jesus ends this teaching with two stories. The two stories are an illustration of the seek ye first principle. He asks, who would build a magnificent tower without making certain that one has the right financial foundation to do so? Or what king would go to war without making certain that all plans are in order? To fail to do this kind of due diligence is to invite embarrassment and defeat. I think Jesus is reminding those who want to be his disciples then and now. He's reminding you and me, I am present in each and every moment of your life. I will never leave you or forsake you. But will you remember me and seek me first? Will you remember me in every relationship of your day? That may seem like a cross to bear at times, to do this intentionally over and over again. But Jesus is saying, that's the only way life is going to work. I hope this has been meaningful for you. And I will see you at church on Sunday.